What's going on, guys? As most of us already know, it finally happened. For those of you that don't already know, arguably the biggest announcement in the world of amusement parks was made for next year. In 2020, Kings Island in Mason, Ohio will be building their tallest and fastest roller coaster yet. Orion is going to be the world's 7th Giga coaster. And yes, it is technically considered a Giga coaster because the drop is 300 feet, but that's a different topic for a different video. If I let myself go too far with that, this won't even be an analysis video, it'll just be a rant video. The ride will be 287 feet tall, have a drop of 300 feet, go 91 miles an hour, and have 5,321 feet of track. This is going to be Kings Island's 15th roller coaster. Technically their 16th if you consider the Racer 2 separate coasters. And in this video I'll be giving my full thoughts on what I think of the ride. Before I really get into the ride itself, I'm going to talk about the name and the theming. 2020 so far seems to be the year of weird names. Not bad names, weird names and weird themes, at least for roller coasters. For Hershey Park we had Candymonium and the Candy theme, kinda weird. For Busch Gardens Williamsburg we had Pantheon and the Roman God theme. The name is kinda weird, but honestly the theming isn't all that bad. And then for Kings Island we have Orion. The Kings Island website says, and I quote, "The ride features the latest prototype vehicle developed by the Project X initiative. Scientists are in a race against time to develop technology capable of weaving transport vehicles through a coming meteor storm and traveling to a new planet within the Orion constellation. For the program to be successful, it needs volunteers to help with testing." End quote. Honestly, kinda weird in my opinion. Not bad, just weird. For those of you keeping up with all the teasing that Kings Island has been doing, then you'll know that they had some posters on the construction fence saying about how they have been testing flight, I think, for years with the other coasters. Again, honestly, the theming is kinda weird in my opinion. Not bad, just weird. To be fair, they do have the whole theme in that area of aliens and outer space, and they're renaming that area from X-Base to Area 72. Maybe they'll add some more decorations or theming, but I'm honestly not expecting it. Now, the name of the ride isn't that bad. I do think that they should have gone with Polaris, which was the other name that was tossed around the internet for a while. So much so to the extent that everyone was convinced that that's what it was going to be. But Kings Island totally trolled everyone and named it Orion instead. It's kind of funny. Like I said before, it's not a bad name, just weird, at least in my opinion. The color scheme is one of the ride's strongest points. I really like the color scheme on this. I like the color of the blue that they went for the track, and the white supports contrast the track really well. This coaster is going to really pop in the skyline of the park. The trains are going to be a light blue color with the logo on the front of them. Again, I like it. It may just be because blue is my favorite color, but I do really like it. This is going to be a very visually appealing coaster. Now for the ride layout. To start off, we come out of the station into a 287-foot tall lift hill. The first drop to follow is 300 feet. An official angle of descent hasn't been released yet, but based on the video, it looks to be somewhere between 80 and 85 degrees. I do appreciate the fact that the drop is going to be greater than the actual height of the ride, but considering how massive this coaster is going to be, it doesn't really mean all that much. Anyway, after the first drop, we go into a 174-foot tall overbanking turn slightly to the left, which honestly isn't really even all that much of a turn. It probably would have been better if it was closer to the ground, Fury 325 style. But what are you going to do? They went with what they did, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Anyway, after that, it then drops down into an actual overbank turn, which is actually higher than the first hill at 202 feet, which, honestly, I think actually only proves my point that that first 174-foot hill should have been closer to the ground, more Fury 325 style, like I said before. But anyway, it turns around and goes under itself, going into a short ejector bunny hill, which is 56 feet tall. After that, it goes into a much larger airtime hill, which is 147 feet tall, which then drops into a massive helix, very similar to the figure 8 helix found on Shambhala at Port Aventura. This helix is 125 feet tall. After this helix, it goes into a banked airtime hill at 90 feet, and then after that, it goes into the final brake run, which is 83 feet off the ground. Overall, this looks like a hugely fun ride. Like I said in the Candymonium analysis, it is B&M, So despite the height and speed, I'm not expecting it to be a super intense ride. It's going to have some great speed and some great moments, but I don't think it's going to be very intense. What this coaster will be, though, is super fun. The first drop looks amazing. Those first 2 hills look like fun, turning you on your side, then dropping you back towards the ground. But then, after those 2 things, will be what is probably going to be the highlight of the ride other than the first drop, the Ejector Bunny Hill. The train is going to be taking this thing so quickly and is going to have some amazing ejector airtime at that point in the ride. If it's anything like Mako's Bunny Hill, expect some good airtime. The next one is going to be your classic B&M floater airtime hill. Now, the official point of view video didn't show any trim brakes on the ride, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was one on this big hill to slow the train down a little bit. It would be awesome if there wasn't one, but I'm not going to get my hopes up just yet. The rest of the ride looks like it's going to be more about the speed. It stays mostly low to the ground, coming up just a few times. That big helix comes up a little over 100 feet, and then the next turn leading into the final brake run is more or less the same height. It's a good layout in my opinion, although a little short for a Giga coaster. It's only a few 100 feet longer than Intimidator 305, which is the shortest one in the United States. Orion, although the name and theming are a little out there, you could say they're out of this world. Haha. Just kidding, that would imply that it's an amazing theme and an amazing name. Which, it's not bad, but it's not exactly amazing either. The coaster itself, though, looks really good, and although a lot of people are dissing on it, mostly entitled Kings Island fanboys that wanted a record-breaking coaster, it is going to be a really fun ride. B&M always does an amazing job with the fun factor on their coasters, and this ride is going to be no exception. Orion's going to complement the rest of Kings Island's lineup immensely, and it's going to be a good fit for them. What do y'all think of Orion? Do you like the name, the theming, the layout? Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Once again, be looking forward to more analysis videos as new coasters are announced for the 2020 season. That's all I've got for this time, guys. Until next time, we're all clear and out of here. See you later.